Thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter conniption. Today we're doing an overview of 3 new games coming from Poketto.
And as always, we want to make sure you're aware that our Kickstarter conniption videos are sponsored by our Kickstarter backers and by the creators of these games. Joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows. And today we're doing an overview of 3 new games coming from Poketto. We have Starforge, Castle Siege, and The Blessed Dark.
We're going to run through all of these, show you what they're all about, and kind of give you a little bit of feedback on the gameplay. Let's take a look first at Castle Siege.
Castle Siege is a 2-player card battle game where each player is defending their kingdom.
Players start with their keep in the bottom slot of their hand, and on their turn they will draw a card and then take 2 actions.
Like playing a card by placing it in an available slot,
or using the action on the card. Each of their 3 slots may contain a castle card and a character card.
Players will build their defenses and attack each other and can refresh their hand by shuffling their deck.
The player whose castle is still standing at the end of the game wins. Castle Siege is not a dexterity game per se. It will require a little bit as you tuck those cards into place, but primarily you're going to be holding your cards in a specific order, and you'll be drawing them off the deck, so you're going to be kind of going back and forth between your 2 hands.
Yes, you have 3 different slots. The bottom one will have your keep, and once your keep health has run all the way down, then the other player wins because they have defeated every bit of your castle. There are also some character cards that have some attack actions on there. You can't place them in a slot that doesn't already have a castle available. You have to have a castle to stand on to be able to attack. So on those you'll have to wait until you've already placed a castle card in that slot.
Right, those tower cards, you kind of have to get to those first to be able to load them up and then come back and add additional characters to be able to fight or defend with. Some of the cards are one-time use cards where as soon as you use it, it goes back, gets flipped around and put into your draw or discard pile. Just your draw pile, not discard. Some of them are cards that take a while to build up. So you've got this catapult that you have to load by flipping the card over. But it's twice as powerful when you actually take the attack.
Yeah, some of those cards have 2 different choices on them, so you'll rotate them a certain way depending on how you would like to use the card. Some of them do have those one-time use, and then the player who eliminates the other player's castle is the winner.
All right, so let's move on and take a look at The Blessed Dark.
The Blessed Dark is a 2 to 4 player dice game where players are building a grimoire of spells, hoping to summon the Dark One.
On their turn, players take 1 action and can draw a card, gain 2 blood tokens, play a spell to their grimoire, or cast a ritual.
Casting a ritual involves rolling all 3 dice. Some spells are one-time use, while others may be used and can be refreshed later.
Others will score favor points at the end of the game. Once the last card is drawn from the deck, the game ends and the players tally their points, and the player with the most favor wins.
In The Blessed Dark, you are playing against the other players trying to build up this grimoire of spells. Some of those spells have a little bit of take that to them, where you may be taking spells away from other players or stealing some of their tokens. But ultimately, you will try to gain some spells that have favor points on them for the end of the game.
Yeah, so on your turn you're going to be drawing a card, or playing a card, or taking some blood, or rolling some dice. When you roll those dice, you're hoping to have enough cards out on the table so that as you assign the dice, you've got some options for where they might go at in order to either be able to achieve more points or to be able to take actions that allow you to be ready to score those points on the next round.
Yeah, there were very few times where we played this where I completely failed one of my rolls, and usually it was because I only had a couple of choices of those spells available. So if you, like he said, build up your grimoire enough, you'll have plenty of options to use those dice if you don't roll like you would expect to roll. You also can, in one of your actions on your turn, refresh spells that you've already used, and you can bring them back into play.
Yeah, and there is some manipulation that can happen on your turn. You can spend those red tokens. You'll have to spend some to collect points. You can spend them to do some pip manipulation. So you do have a little bit of ability in addition to just rolling the die.
Yeah, in addition, the dark one is available if you can roll 3 of the same, so all your dice match, and you will take that card into your grimoire, and then you can later, you can summon that one and get points for it at the end of the game, or you can keep using the ability that it has so that you can use 3, if you roll 3 of a kind again, you can use one of your other spells, but if another player rolls 3 of a kind before the end of the game, they can steal it away from you.
All right, let's finally take a look at my favorite, Starforge.
Starforge is a lighthearted sci-fi themed asymmetric 2-player game where the Terrans are trying to outlive the dreaded goo.
The Terrans' turn will begin with a building phase where they can purchase additional parts to add to their ships. Next, each ship will take 2 actions, trying to either take control of a planet, harvest its resources, or attack an enemy.
Meanwhile, on the goo's turn, they will be trying to evolve and spread their control throughout the galaxy. The first player to control 6 stars, harvest 4 resources, or eliminate the other player's ships wins.
Starforge is almost like a 4X mini game or something. You've only got a limited amount of space to explore. You get 7 planets that you can travel through. You can be picking up resources on each of those. You're going to win the game if you're able to do that well, or if you can take out your enemy opponent, or if you can control enough of the territory. In the game, you have a lot of different options on both sides because you're both playing slightly different games, and there's a lot going on for it all being in a teeny tiny tin.
Yeah, depending on which faction you are, if you're the alien goo, you will be moving around. At the beginning of your turn, the pieces that you already have out, you will go ahead and evolve those. So it is possible for you to gain more drone pieces. You can attach those to your motherships if you would like to, which will make them more powerful, or you can just use them to continue taking an extra action. Each one of those gets 1 action when it's your turn. And then you're trying to do the same thing, gather some resources or take control of the planets, or just trying to eliminate the other player.
The game comes with a bunch of little tiny bits. These acrylic cutout pieces are pretty slick. When you are on the Terran side, as you're building up your ship each turn, you can buy an additional piece to add to it, which is kind of cool. And each one of those gives you an additional or different ability. So it might give you the ability to move further or take an extra action, have more cargo space. It might allow you to be more effective in your attacks and have the ability to manipulate some of your rolls just a little bit. And you're going to need those components on both sides because whenever you attack each other, you're actually knocking off parts of their ship. So you've got to have enough to be able to survive. If your last hit is your main ship part, you've lost a ship.
Yes, you can also gain control of those planets. The planets all have different abilities on them that you can spend the resources that you've harvested there. So you'll first need to make sure that you can take control of the planet and then spend the resources to take the action there.
So you're going to do that through die rolling. If it's a neutral planet, 1 successful attack gains it for you. If the other opponent owns it, then it takes 1 tick to get it back to neutral, and then you have to beat it again to be able to gain full control of it. Each planet also features those stars along the corner, along the bottom edge, and you've got to get, one of the ways to win is to have 6 planets, 6 stars worth of planets in the game to be able to take it out.
Yeah, this sounds like something you're interested in. You can check out all 3 of these games on the same Kickstarter campaign from Poketto. And once again, thank you for checking out our videos here and subscribing to Tantrum House. A couple of those cards that have let's start over. I know what I want to say, I just said it in the wrong order.
What would you say? Limited amount of space, but you've got 6 planets. Nope. How many are there?
And today we're doing a 3-pack overview.
That's probably...
Our overviews come in 3 packs now.